Hi, I'm Tim Newton from the Krannert School of Management, joined today by Jane King, who is the CEO and founder of LilaMax Media. Before we get any further, what is LilaMax Media?
Well, it's a television and web content provider, mainly for financial news, although we would like to expand to other content as well. Lila Max is named after my children, Max and Lila, my 6 and 8-year-old kids. So they're very flattered to have their name in the company title.
And they're celebrities now. They're
They think
recognized
so.
wherever they
They think
go.
so. Well, it's we went to visit all the TV stations that are part of our network, and Seattle at King TV, an NBC affiliate there. Max was on TV. He's a big Seahawks fan, so he wore his very smartly wore his Seahawks jersey as Russell Wilson jersey, and got on TV, of course, talking about that. And then afterwards, we went out for breakfast, and he was recognized at the restaurant. So, and I wasn't. So there you go.
Mom has taught him well about branding.
Yes.
This is not your first foray into television, though. You're a Purdue graduate, got your start in local TV here. Pretty meteoric path, though, to New York City.
Yeah, well, I started TV18 here and really learned the ropes about television reporting here, being on camera day after day. Learned a lot about local government here, which is important. I covered city councils and school boards, and I still find that information useful, even in New York. Just knowing how local government works, I think it's really important that people know how their communities work and decisions are made. From there, I took a little detour, went to the Chicago Board of Trade. So, always been interested in markets, stocks, commodities, was a trader there for a while. Got back into TV in Decatur, Illinois, WAND. Went to Philadelphia from there, so the ABC station in Philadelphia. So that was kind of
That's the big
that was
jump.
the big jump. And at Philadelphia, really started honing my skills as a business reporter. And then was able to go to CNN in New York, financial reporter, and then Bloomberg Television, and then started my own company about 2 years ago.
Let's talk about starting that company. You've covered entrepreneurs during your time as a business reporter. You've become one. What's
I
that
have
transition
become,
been like?
always jealous of the entrepreneurs. I always thought that looked like such a great lifestyle to have your own company and grow it, and it is. I do love being an entrepreneur, but it is a lot of work, and it's a lot harder than I thought it would be. So it's a mix of having a grand vision and focusing on details. So we basically, just to give you a little context, my business partner and I were both at Bloomberg, and we launched what Bloomberg was doing and decided to get rid of in 2013. We thought it was a viable business. We thought it could be done more efficiently. We thought it could be done more modern. And so we took it over. He's a TV syndicated salesperson. So, and I was the editorial on-air person. So we had complementary skills that we brought to the company. And we launched in January of 2014 with 12 very faithful, trusting stations. And now we've grown that to 70 stations. But it hasn't been easy. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about the difficulty of sales. I've learned a lot about budgets and how those are only done on an annual basis. And if you miss it, you got to wait a year for a deal to get done. I've learned a lot about management changes and how managers are different. Some are risk takers. Some are very scared to take risks. Some companies will let their managers make independent decisions. Some don't. Some want content only from their networks. Some will go to outside networks. And so you've learned to really kind of navigate all that, which has been challenging. But it's working out okay, and we're able to pay the bills and make a little money and hopefully grow.
And you've changed your location. You started when you were covering New York to begin with, down on Wall Street.
Yes.
And now you're at NASDAQ.
Yes, I was at the New York Stock Exchange, right on Wall Street, and would have liked to have stayed there. I had all these relationships there, but we needed to start recording at 4:30 in the morning, and they don't come until 7. Now, I was able to do that at Bloomberg because we did everything through Bloomberg headquarters, all the broadcasting. But with my own company, we needed to do things through the stock exchange, and they were not available that early. So, but the NASDAQ was, and they could work for us. And so they've been a very crucial, important partner and a wonderful partner in this launch.
You said that being an entrepreneur has been a learning experience for you. What's the biggest surprise? What's happened here in the last 2 years that you wouldn't have thought would happen 2 years ago?
Well, when we left Bloomberg, I was doing 168. We had 168 TV stations under our 12-team, umbrella, and I thought that most of those would come along. And most of them didn't, at least not for the launch. And I was kind of like, well, I don't understand. I mean, I had this wonderful relationship with this particular TV station, and we were great on the air, and viewers would actually call in and ask what happened to it and why are we not still on there. And I didn't appreciate the back office management decisions. Now, like before, I would just kind of do my reports and I would write and edit them and make sure the information was correct and we had good videos and all that stuff. Now it involves sales and it involves general managers. So we're moving up higher in the TV hierarchy and dealing with more people, and it's complicated. There were some mergers that were taking place. Gannett, I was going through a merger, and one of the stations that I particularly had a good relationship with that didn't take us was because that merger was taking, it was a Gannett-owned station. Right. It was Gannett and Belo, and a Texas station. So we hope to get them on, but these mergers take forever. And like I said, the whole budget cycle thing. So I think just the time that it takes to really build something. I mean, you can work 24/7 and you have no control over all this extraneous stuff, mergers that are taking place that impact you directly. So you really have to plan for that and work around all that.
What are the things that are keeping you busy these days on Wall Street? It was a tumultuous start to the year in the markets in New York. Have things solidified now?
Seems to have for now. Yes, I enjoyed a nice Christmas vacation back in Indiana, and bam, came back to work and every day was tumultuous, and those days are always super busy for me. Everybody's very interested in business news when the markets are going crazy. So there were long days, there were busy days, a lot of fast-changing information. In fact, the month of January, just overall, was kind of like that. In February, things started to turn around. We're watching oil prices a lot. They've been falling. Everybody's enjoying low gas prices, of course. But the oil prices and stocks have definitely been traveling together over the past, certainly this year and late last year. But that situation has stabilized, at least for now. But I'm hearing people talk about, some other worries. Always something to worry about on Wall Street. Negative interest rates people are worried about. They're worried about the short-term focus on Wall Street and trading and what that could mean for companies, especially small companies. They really get hurt by some of that short-term trading. So those are the issues that we're watching now.
I heard you earlier today talking about the fact that there aren't as many physical traders working at the New York Stock Exchange as there were. Computers have taken a lot of this work over.
They have. I started the New York Stock Exchange in June of 2000, and I had to elbow and push my way around. And you felt like you were always in somebody's way, especially as a reporter. I mean, here are these important traders, doing their work. They're capitalists doing this. And I was always like trying to work around that. But now there's about 600 traders, and their income has gone down a lot. A lot of them just left the floor. A lot of them are doing totally different things now. I know a guy that started a Five Guys franchise that used to be a trader, so they're looking for other ways to make money. But the stock exchange is still there. There's still work that's done. Volume way down from where it was 15, 20 years ago. They compare their jobs now to a pilot, that they're important at the open, takeoff, and at the close, landing. And then they're around if there's any emergencies in between. And otherwise, computers just take over.
Back to your business for a minute. Hard work is always a key to this. Your days are a little bit crazy. How do you balance your work career and also having a family right now?
Well, time management is key. I'm very organized, which helps. I write everything down, usually twice. So it's in my phone, and it's also, yes, I still carry a date book. It's in there too. My phone never gets lost or dies. I've got it written down. So I have a good handle of what my weeks are looking like, each week. And then even kind of my month. I'm like, okay, what's the next month? God, I got to do this interview or that interview. So I think that helps a lot. And even down to my kids, like what activities they have and birthday parties and things, everything it's written down. And I get up at 2 a.m. and so I start recording at 4:30 in the morning, and I know that with those kind of hours I can't have a dinner that night and then something long the next day. So, and I also, when possible, try to schedule things later in the week, interviews and so forth that are going to be taking longer, because I know that I've got the weekend ahead. So it's all about kind of balancing the work and making sure I get enough rest, because if I don't sleep, I lose my voice, and then that's not good if you're on camera. So I have to always prevent from getting sick, and take my vitamins.
I'm sure you'll be in good voice today with the students. Jane, thanks for coming back.
Tim.
Always great to have you on campus. For Jane King, I'm Tim Newton.